Today on Make and Drink, we're creating a regionally specific eggnog that has been around since the 1800s, the Baltimore Eggnog. Now, this will be a great eggnog for someone who wants to make it right now and drink it right now. You can age this, but it's not a necessity. And we'll also be making this as a single serving cocktail. The first eggnog recipe showed up in the late 1700s in New Jersey and Pennsylvania, and as eggnog and eggnog recipes spread through New England and the Atlantic coast, they picked up regionally specific ingredients and styles. One of those, Baltimore eggnog, made itself different by using Madeira, a fortified wine from the island of Madeira, which is a part of Portugal. What makes Madeira unique even today, but especially for the time period when these wines were used, is that it is basically cooked, and that's intentionally, even though originally it was an accident. When Madeira was being shipped throughout the world and traveling long distances to Portuguese colonies, the barrels would heat up as they traveled through tropical regions. So the Madeira that was coming off of these ships had a different flavor profile than it did when it was put on the ships. This richer, darker, caramelized and nutty flavor was more desirable. This cooking or heating of Madeira now becomes intentional, whether by sailing on ships around the world through warm regions or storing barrels in warm lofts for months and months, or the more common approach today, which is to store Madeira in tanks of about 120 degrees Fahrenheit for several months. The byproduct of this is a wine that lasts longer and not only survives during those long travel distances, but thrives when it does. So in a humid port city like Baltimore, Madeira becomes popular. Madeira is delicious on its own. It is not too sweet, especially when you compare it to something like port, and it doesn't have the acidity that many other fortified wines and sherries have. There is a richness to it, but there's also a mellowness to it. It's that aging, and especially the aging in warm barrels, which makes it rich and complex and nutty, but easy to drink as well. In 1862, Jerry Thomas shared a recipe for Baltimore eggnog, where he calls for brandy or Jamaican rum, and this drink is served cold. Other recipes showed up in the 1800s as well, with most of them agreeing on the use of Madeira and brandy. And while eggnog took off as a holiday tradition in the South with the making of it as a Christmas Day tradition, eggnog evolved to be more than just a drink to be consumed on one particular day. In fact, in Baltimore, as well as other places, I believe, eggnog would be drank from Christmas to New Year's, and according to National Geographic, it was a custom for young men of the town to go from house to house on New Year's Day, toasting their host in eggnog along the way. I don't know why we're just not doing that now. Not all were fans of this. The temperance movement of the time calls eggnog the bane of the Baltimore holidays. Breakfast is made of eggnog, and it lasts until supper time. I don't know what's wrong with that. They were even holding meetings to counteract the egg-noggity of the holidays. Baltimore eggnog would grow in popularity outside of Baltimore, partly due to Jerry Thomas's widely sharing his recipes and the people who copied him, and the recipes also showed up in other places as well. You can find mentions of it in Virginia, San Antonio, as well as Sacramento. The Jerry Thomas version, like many other eggnog versions, calls to beat the egg yolks and the whites separately, and then to use either brandy or Jamaican rum, but I've opted to use one whole egg, brandy, and Jamaican rum, and to shake this in a cocktail shaker for a single serving. You can use any brandy or cognac you like and any rum, but a higher proof Jamaican rum like Smith & Cross will bolster this to be around 10% ABV, which is plenty boozy for me in an eggnog. So let's go ahead and make the Baltimore eggnog. You're going to start with 2 ounces of milk or cream. I'm using half whole milk and half heavy cream. You could also use half and half if you want to. 3/4 ounces of a 2-to-1 rich simple syrup, or about 3.5 teaspoons of granulated sugar. Half an ounce of our Madeira. Half an ounce of brandy or cognac. And half an ounce of rum. We're gonna add a whole egg to our shaker, and I did crack this separately. It's smart to just do that first. That way you don't run the risk of getting any shell in your tin. I'm gonna give this a good, hard, long shake with 1 large ice cube, and then about 1/4 cup of ice, smaller ice cubes preferably. The large ice cube will aid in texture, and the smaller cubes will dilute the drink. Since I'm shaking a whole egg here, I like to double strain this into a glass so there's no weird eggy bits. And of course, we must top this with a copious amount of freshly grated nutmeg. So there you have it, the Baltimore Eggnog. Let's try it. Cheers. That's delicious. It feels a little bit less eggy than some of the other eggnogs that I've made. And if you're new here, I've made quite a bit of different eggnogs here. I have my own eggnog. We've done the tequila sherry eggnog. We've done on Patreon. Just did one from a tropical tiki bar that has coffee in it. And what I really love is you can take a regular template for an eggnog, especially one that has brandy and rum, and then you throw in a fortified wine. Sometimes it's a sherry, sometimes it's in this case, a Madeira. And they can, just with that half an ounce in there, like completely switch this into something else. I can still taste the Madeira. And if this is something that you've not done with eggnogs, whether you're making it right now, a la minute, or you're doing a big batch, it's great to explore different types of fortified wines in your eggnog. It helps transform it into something unique, yet in this case, historic, and switches up the flavor profile that we're used to. That's just like bourbon or cognac or rum or a combination of those three things in some order. Seriously, don't sleep on putting sherries or Madeira or fortified wines into your eggnog. And if you have some at home, different bottles lying around, or you want to just go get some to explore it, just pick up a few that you think are interesting by the flavor profiles that you like and make them all like this. Make them side by side. See which one you like the most. This has a much more mellow richness and like a mellow sweetness from the aged Madeira, the aged and cooked Madeira than something like an Amontillado sherry, which I use in other eggnog recipes. All in all, it is just delicious. And if you're like me and you're already getting a little bit sad that we're making our way through December and winter and Christmas is almost here and it's almost time for you to put away the eggnog, remember that a long time ago, they drank eggnog all the time. It was a meal. And they even drank it, outside of the holidays, but especially during the holidays and through the holidays. You don't have to stop Christmas Day. You can keep drinking that eggnog all the way into the new year. So that's it for this one. Baltimore Eggnog. My first time having this. It is wonderful. It is rich and complex. And I think I already know what I'm going to do next year. I'm just going to go get every single bottle of fortified wines I can find and try them all, because that needs to be done. So stay tuned in 6 months to a year for that to show up here. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like below. Consider subscribing to this channel. And hey, if you want to support this channel more, I have a Patreon you can check out where I post videos from time to time, but you also get access to the Make and Drink Discord, which is a group of like-minded individuals just like you that like cocktails. And you can also check out another video I did on eggnog that featured coffee. Otherwise, happy holidays, and I'll see you in the next one.